everyone, Lisa Hubbard here. So really quick, I want to talk to you about application techniques for your sunless tanners. So before I talked about doing the spray on my full body, and I found out later that the lotion is technically created for your full body. The spray they designed, you can use it on your whole body, but the reason why the bottle's smaller is because it's designed for just use on your face and neck area. So it's kind of like touching up just your face area, or if that's all you want is a little bit of glow underneath your makeup, this stuff's great. So you can use it on your whole body though, it just won't go very far. Maybe, like I said, 3 or 4 tans. All right, so application techniques. First of all, prepping. So before, every time you go to use your sunless tanner, you always want to use it on clean skin. So take your shower and exfoliate. And you don't have to get crazy with exfoliation. If you have like a favorite sugar scrub or something like that, great, use it. But really, you can just grab sugar out of the cabinet. White sugar. If you're worried about the chemicals, get yourself an organic sugar, pure cane sugar. And the granules are usually a little bit bigger on that anyway, so you'll get a better slough. But grab some sugar, mix it with your shower gel or even just with water, and you can use that on your skin. So easy exfoliation. You don't have to go and spend a ton of money to do that. But make sure you exfoliate beforehand. That's going to make sure you get rid of all those dead skin cells, and you're going to be starting with fresh skin. Because how this works is it tans the top layer of your skin. So as you know, we slough our skin, we shed our skin every so many days. And your tan's only going to last as long as your skin sheds. So if you go tanning the top layer of your skin and half of it's the dead skin that's getting ready to slough off, it's not going to work very well. You're only going to have like a couple days in there. So if you do that, and then afterwards, make sure you moisturize daily. Put your moisturizer on your whole body. Keeping yourself moisturized will keep your skin from sloughing quite as fast. So your tan should last about 1 to 2 weeks. All right, so going on that, when you apply, you're going to use small amounts and do sections of your body at a time. So I usually use of the lotion like maybe a dime size amount at a time. And with the spray, you know, spray a couple times on your main body part and then rub in as needed. And it's pretty easy to blend and fill in the spots. But what do you use to apply? So, first of all, you can use your bare hands. Now, I will tell you, Younique's sunless tanners, they soak in a lot faster than your typical ones. So that's why we tell you to use small amounts, so that way you get it rubbed in before it's dry. And also, if you use your bare hands, it's going to turn your hands orange if you listen to the bottle. If you listen to the bottle, it says to apply, and then at the end, wash your hands. Don't do that. If you apply with your bare hands, you're going to want to do a leg, wash your hands. Do a leg, wash your hands. Do your torso, wash your hands. So you need to wash your hands in between basically each body part. Otherwise, you're going to have super orange hands at the end. So you can use your bare hands. I suggest using something else. I've always used... Up until now, I've always used exam gloves. These are just regular gloves you can get at the store. Buy them at CVS. If you do use gloves, I suggest getting them, the ones that are sized, so that way you can get one size appropriate for your hands. If you get the basic ones, they're huge. They're like extra larges, just standard, and they fall off as you're trying to apply. So kind of a pain in the butt. You're trying to keep your gloves on. You can also use an applicator. So Younique has this awesome little applicator that I just got in the mail. I haven't even used it yet, but it is a super fine sponge. So it's very smooth, very soft, even more so than like your beauty buds that you use. I mean, you can't even hardly see the pores on these. So very soft, and you get these wet, just damp, and squeeze them out real good. You can, you know, pat them off on a towel if you want to, just so it's damp, and you apply your lotion to this, or you can spray your spray onto your body and then work it in with your sponge. I've seen the mitt applicators and whatnot like that you can get on Amazon. You can get one if you want to. I've had some women who say they work great. I personally have never used them. I've also had, most recently, a team member tell me that she had amazing luck with just a regular tube sock. So if you have a sock laying around, an old sock laying around that's clean, You can use this, you get it wet, wring it out really good so it's just barely damp, and use that to apply your lotion. So if you use this, it could go through to your hand, so I would suggest either putting a glove on underneath or even just put a layer of plastic wrap really quick around your hand, or a plastic bag underneath the sock, and that'll keep your hand from getting dirty. So I've heard that works great as well. So a few good tips that you can use to apply. Now, when we're talking about your limbs, like my biggest complaint from everyone is either the hands, they can't get their hands and wrists right, and that's how people can always tell that you have sunless tanners on, or it's their elbows and knees that turn dark, or around their ankles. So it's always the joint areas that are tricky. So here's my tip for that. When you are applying, I'm going to use my arm, and just obviously this would be like your knee on your leg. So obviously whatever body part you're applying, you're going to want to spread it out with your applicator or your glove or whatever you're using on the large areas of your arm or leg. So, you know, do your thigh first, and then your calf and whatnot, but then as you're blending it in and you just have a nice light layer, most of it's worked in already, and you just have a nice light layer, that's when you go over your knees, or that's when you take it down your ankles and rub real good around your ankles. And I also, on my toes and hands, I make sure I get in between my fingers and I take it down my hands, down my fingers. So that will help big time, because your skin's thicker around your elbows and your knees, and it absorbs more of the product. So you want to put a very thin layer over those areas of your body. So when I get around my hairline, on my face, and yes, I do use both of these products I've used on my face, when you get around your hairline, I try and push it up into my hairline, so that way when you pull your hair up, you don't have a little white ring around your forehead. So when you're doing your face, just push it up into your hairline. Good to go. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. A lot of people ask me how long they have to leave this on. You can leave it on 4 to 5 hours. That would be a minimum. I would say minimum of 4 to 5 hours, because you got to give that reaction time to happen on your skin. After about 4 to 5 hours, it may not have the full reaction, but at least most of the product has absorbed in, so that way it's, even if you wash it off, it's probably still working some. But I would say ideally 7 to 10 hours. So that's why a lot of people do it at night before bed, and then they go to bed, wake up in the morning, shower, and you're good to go. I will say though, I've said it before, I'll say it again, with that lotion, I have put it on during the day, and it's the only sunless tanner I've ever used that doesn't make my face look muddy. Oh, last tip, hands and wrists. So if you have your applicator or your sock, you can probably just use that. But usually I use the exam gloves, and then after I've done my whole body, I take my exam gloves off, grab a couple cotton balls, and you can either, you know, if you're using the spray your cotton balls, or put just a little tiny dab of lotion on your cotton balls, and you can work it into the backs of your hands, down your fingers, in between your fingers, and down your wrists area, and it kind of blends in where you were rubbing your arms earlier. So as you can see, my hands look pretty darn good for, you know, no major issues with the wrist. That's a scar. But anyway, I think that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Exfoliate before, moisturize after, use your applicator or whichever. Small amounts, a little goes a long way with this stuff, and I suggest using a light layer. See how the tan comes out the next day, and if you want darker, do it again. This stuff is layerable. Other than that, I think you're good to go. You don't really have to wait too long. It's usually pretty dry by the time you finish, so you can throw your clothes on. If you're concerned about it or worried, wait 5 or 10 minutes and throw your clothes on. You're good to go. So, all right, girls. Hope that helps. Bye.